Yay! We are so glad that you have decided to take this journey with us on the 10 principles that have changed the quality of our relationship. And I am an occupational therapist. My name is Hallie Lifson. And I love all things having to do with the brain and body. And what I like about these 10 principles is that it weaves the neurobiology and anatomy into the relationship in a way that helps you learn how to put your ambassador parts of your brain online and to subdue the more primitive parts. And we help each other do that. So I'll let Roman introduce you.
Yeah, my name is Roman Lifson. I'm Hallie's husband. We've been together for 17 years and married for 15. And we really enjoy bringing this to all of you and share the kind of things that have really helped us in our 17 years together, what we've learned from each other, from different events we've attended, from different workshops, and to really synthesize um, uh, what really works and what we found to be really helpful. So in the next half hour, 40 minutes or so, we're going to share with you a summary of these 10 principles, understanding that this is just scratching the surface. This is just a brief overview.
Yeah, I promise I will not nerd out and do a lot of neuroanatomy or biology. We're just going to give you the 10 principles. We're going to take you through each of the 10 and give you just a brief overview of why each one of these is so important and so vital.
Yeah. So this is just going to be an introduction. In our programs that we'll tell you about, we dive a lot deeper into them. We do have the next iteration of our Mythic Union Pilgrimage coming up in Costa Rica in November.
And we just had an amazing experience in Santorini, Greece. So we love taking people to really beautiful places in the world and then spending time each day focusing in on something that's going to nourish you and also your partnership.
Yeah. So we'll tell you partway through this, we'll tell you about that offering. And if you stick with us, you'll also get the little bonus at the end of a pretty significant discount if you choose to join us.
Yeah, we've been studying both individually with some of the world's, I believe, to be greatest teachers. And then now collectively for the past few years, like 3 years, we've been diving really deep into all things marriage, partnership. What is divine union? How can it be lived in a world that really has not given us the skill set? When we got married, we had an Episcopal minister whom I loved come and give us, and this is our second marriage. So the only advice that we really received was don't go to bed angry, which is lovely advice, but not quite the full picture.
So what we really try to work on is figure out what is it that we can contribute to society, to couples. And for us, it's really the lessons that we've learned through our 17 years together, the practices that we've practiced, the rituals that we've adopted. And that is really what we feel like we can share and contribute to you in your pursuit of divine union and refining your divine union.
Yeah. Okay. So number one, a lot of this is going to sound like common sense, and yet in the real world, it's not often actually implemented. So number one, we protect this circle. The circle is protected. Our relationship is a shelter for us, for our individual growth and for our growth together. And within this, we choose honesty, we choose safety, and we protect this judgment-free space.
And that's really the lack of judgment is really one of the absolute keys, because that is what stands in the way of us being fully authentic, fully truthful with the people around us, and especially our partners. And if we can get away from the fear of judgment, then we free ourselves to really share openly. And that is where true intimacy comes in. So this is a reorientation where we really view the relationship as its own entity that is the combination of us, but it is its own entity that needs and requires and deserves protection. And when we reorient our thought pattern to that, not just, okay, here's what I need or want, here's what she needs or wants, but here's what the relationship needs or wants, that is a significant shift, and it also helps us shift our thinking and shift our priorities.
Yeah. And just really briefly, I'm sure you all have met couples where they have this in place because you can feel it energetically. When they're together, you can feel that magnetic bubble around them. You can feel that they are protecting what is sacred between them, and it benefits everyone. So that's number one. We protect the third entity, which is the relationship, the circle. We protect our circle. And number two, we choose peace over battle. And I'm just going to insert this here. It's not that we are doormats for one another, because we definitely want to make sure that our desires are known and that we find ways to have those desires met. But we learn that we're essentially on the same side when we remember this. And so even when we have disagreements, we can learn how to take a deep breath and realize that we're on the same side. This sounds like, oh yeah, duh. But a lot of us have this more primal part of the brain that only wants to survive. And so it will go in for the kill right away if it's not getting its way. Yeah. So we choose peace.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that we avoid conflict or that we shirk conflict, because conflict is going to arise. You'll have disagreements. You'll have conflict. And the answer is not to just sweep it under the rug or for one person to just yield all the time. That is not the recipe for success. The recipe for success is learning how to deal with that conflict and approach it from the perspective of, again, what is right and what is good for the relationship, and how do we serve the relationship through how we approach that conflict, how we resolve our differences.
And when we dive deeper, we do dive into the parts of the brain that we take online, because we want to learn and practice how to actively make love and not war. And it is indeed a practice. Okay, so we're going through these really quickly. This one I believe to be the most potent game changer for us in the past few years. And there's a lot of I would say a little bit of resistance towards this word even. But number three is we build rituals. Yeah. Human beings are naturally drawn to creating ritual. And we just have not been taught the most potent rituals for relationship. We've been taught how to, do nice things for one another, to support each other, but we haven't really been taught how to create sacred space, how to constructively use space so that we have this constant influx of exactly what we need, or we can say exactly what our needs are. We can say exactly what's scaring us, or we can be witnessed in our truth on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. They're very specific rituals, and this has been vital to the level of our intimacy.
Yeah, and these rituals really are designed to create that intimate space between the two of you, to set aside time, but also give you the skills to create that intimacy that allows you to share those deep emotions, not just your happiness and successes and all that. That's easy to do, but also your fears and your shames and your disappointments. And that is where the true intimacy comes in, because when you share that with your partner and see that your partner can receive it, not judge you for it, but really is there to help you for it, that is what these rituals are meant to do. And they span the gamut. Some of them can be done over your morning coffee. Others are more elaborate. That's why those may not be your daily rituals. But there is a variation of them. There's a multitude of them. And those are the ones that we teach and encourage you to adopt in your life.
Yeah, the daily one can happen really quickly. The evening one also very quickly. That's a daily one. And then when you have more time for these deeper connection rituals, it's this kind of small moments that you create together that's literally like money in the bank.
Yeah, and it's remarkable how devoting just those few minutes in a day to that ritual will transform your day, transform how you relate, transform your honesty, your intimacy. and give you the confidence to keep coming back to each other with additional things.
Yeah, and it's easy and it's enjoyable.
It's fun.
And it's very, very, very effective at creating a very strong bond and very loving feelings of being understood. Okay, so number 4, we study each other deeply and we learn one another's patterns deeply.
Yeah, and that is key in understanding why your spouse, your partner reacts to things in the way that he or she does. Because we're, intuitively programmed to expect others to react to things the same way that we do, because that's the only thing that we know. But what is clear is that we come into the relationship often from different perspectives, from different life experiences, from different childhood experiences, which result in different types of attachment styles. And the difference in those attachment styles is what often governs how we react to certain stimuli, especially to stress, to disappointment, to conflict. And it is really, really critical to understand that the way I would react to something is not the way that Hallie would react to something, because she had a different life experience. And it's critical for me to understand and even to predict how she will react to something that's happening in our lives, whether it's with work or with children or what have you. And by understanding that, by being able to predict that different reaction, we can better soothe each other. We can better prepare both of us for that reaction, and then deal with it productively.
Yeah, and I think this understanding of really, really knowing your partner is what a really truly skilled lover does. Yeah. It's just know that it is, in some, like, maybe this isn't the best way to say it, but it is my job to understand where Roman is in any given moment and to understand why and how to help him feel better.
Yeah. And there's great safety and comfort that comes from the recognition that that's what your partner is, number one, able to do. Number two, is desiring to do. So we go through in detail the different attachment styles and talk about how they affect how we approach life, how we approach conflict, how we approach relationship. And those are, we spend a lot of time on that because it's so important.
Yeah. And it's not that we abandon our own needs to run and rescue the other. It's more like a fine attunement to how you can support your partner in any given moment. And also this fine attunement, knowing that these are the buttons that you don't want to push because you know that makes them uneasy. And so, yeah, it does not protect the circle when you do that. Okay, so we're almost halfway through. All right, so number 5, we all have lots of different people in our lives. We have coworkers, we have family members, even within under the same roof. We have extended family. We have lots of responsibilities and obligations and relationships, and that is really good and beneficial for the relationship. And we want to make sure that our partner knows that they are our very first call when something happens. The first text message goes to my partner. The first phone call goes to Roman. And all of the other relationships are important, but this one is the most.
Yeah. And that helps keep reinforcing the primacy of the relationship, that you know that when something important happens, it's not your mother-in-law that's going to hear it first, or not your cousin, or not your wife's best friend, but you will. Again, not to say that you're going to cut any of those people out. No, those are important, and those relationships are really, really important and helpful. But it's also very important to keep each other as your first port of call. So these are so those are the first 5 principles we've discussed. I want to take just a quick break and tell you about where we're going to go in Costa Rica in November 8th.
Yeah, just so you know, we've been taking people around the world for about 5 years now, and before that, we were taking our family around the world. It's a family of 7. We have raised 5 wonderful children, and we took them all around the world. And then we started taking our friends all around the world. And very soon they told us, you all need to do this as a living. So we've been taking people to the world's most beautiful places, and we're very excited to take you to one of ours, which is Costa Rica.
Yeah, we're going to be in Tamarindo, which is a wonderful town in a gated private villa. And if my screen sharing will work here, we'll show you what that looks like. So this is just one of the photos of the outdoor spaces. It's great outdoor, indoor space. Let me see if I can do this one. My screen sharing skills are leaving a little bit to be desired, but we'll get through it.
Yeah, Tamarindo is a town that we've been to now like 5 times, something like that. But I love it because it's got everything you need. It's got really beautiful places to stay, wonderful restaurants. We have a private chef in our villa. Very nice places to surf all day if that's your thing. You can get fabulous massages there. It's very walkable. It's very cute. And you can still take wonderful excursions from there. It's easy to get everywhere from Tamarindo.
Yeah, and just so we tell you a little bit about how we run these programs. Most, if not all, of the programs that we've attended, which have been wonderful, we've learned a ton, but they have been really, really busy.
It's very rigorous.
You're in session from maybe 7 in the morning till well after dinner into the evening, and without a whole lot of time to enjoy the beautiful surroundings where you may be, where you've traveled.
Or even put on nice clothes to go to dinner. A lot of times people are running just like late in their yoga clothes in a castle where it's like the best opportunity you have to get dressed up. So this is something that we are doing very differently because we love the adventure of the place itself. We want you to have time to really let the transmission from the morning, which we do every morning, about 90-minute transmission, land and settle while you have wonderful, beautiful, magical experiences together during the day. Even if that's just staying in the villa and hanging out with your new friends in the pool, that's great. But we want you to have agency over the rest of your day. And we're going to help you plan whatever your desires are that particular morning. And then in the evening, I have a very specific temple, which is 90 minutes, maybe a couple minutes over 90. And then we have a lovely dinner afterward where you can discuss and talk and share about your experiences in temple. And we're right there with you. So what we have gotten the feedback on previous adventures is it is the sweet spot for people who have just started a personal development journey because you're not overwhelmed. And it's the sweet spot for those who have done a lot of deep work as well, because you have time to deepen within the transmissions that we bring and time to discuss and let all of the new information settle in your system. And then time to practice the practices too.
Yeah. And so with the email with which you got the link to this webinar, you'll also see a little video of feedback that we got from our guests from our Greece experience. And this spaciousness concept came up over and over and over, and people really appreciated having that time to relax. So that we want you to come to this beautiful place, to this villa that has just these dramatic ocean views of sunrise and sunset above Tamarindo. And we want you to learn, which you will, but we also want you to relax and enjoy where you are and enjoy being with your partner so that you come away feeling refreshed and energized.
This is not the space. This is not the temple to talk about institutional trauma, but I do believe that a lot of us carry this idea that we have to get our money's worth, have to be getting information or experiences all day long. And I am here to say, I think it's the exact opposite. I think you have one very potent, very heartfelt, embodied experience, and you get more out of it when you have time to let it settle in the system.
Yeah. And we do also offer a 6-week online container that is the perfect preparation for this. It's not required, but the way it's structured, it's the perfect preparation for the actual in-person retreat, because during those 6 weeks we go over a lot of the principles so that when you land, you're already completely enmeshed in what the topics are and what the practices are.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend that you join us for the online Alchemical Union. It's 6 weeks. It's every Wednesday night for 90 minutes, and it is indispensable, I believe, to your partnership.
And for those who join both, we'll have a special package deal. So anyway, that's the information about where we're going in Costa Rica, and all the details are taken care of. The way we do these trips, like our guests have said, all I have to do is show up. That
You
is
just show up.
all you have to do is show up. Your transportation from the airport to the villa will be taken care of. As Hallie said, we'll help you arrange any kind of excursion or activity that you want, and the opportunities there are literally limitless. And then you come away after a wonderful week.
Yeah.
So,
Pura vida, the
Yeah.
good life, the sweet life.
Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely love Costa Rica, and I really hope that you decide to join us.
Yeah.
And now we are in principle. Are we at 5?
Number 6.
Oh, we're at 6. Okay. Okay. So we dove into this a little bit, but number 6 is we know our patterns. So we understand that it's our job not to poke the bear and create instability and unsafety in the relationship, but we also understand the underlying patterns and why they're there. So basically, if you have somebody who is more introverted than you are, you don't try to insert the way that you want to be loved onto them. You really understand their patterns, and you understand how to be close to them in the way that works for them.
Yeah. And that really also informs how you interact when other people are around. For example, if you're at a gathering and if you understand how your partner reacts to being in a place where he or she may not know a lot of people. Some people are really gregarious and are perfectly fine on their own. Others are not, again, because of how they're built up and how they were brought up and what experiences they've had in the past. And having that understanding really helps you fine-tune how you're going to relate in that environment. And that also translates to, being with family or any other environment. It's just understanding how your partner is going to react to something.
Yeah. And you don't need to be an armchair psychologist to do this, but this is about attachment patterns. And these attachment patterns are made in your earliest years in your development, and they likely stay with you for your lifetime. And there's no one attachment pattern that's better than another one. It just is what it is. And so we go into detail in that in the online container. And yeah, so that's a deep dive into attachment patterns, which is indispensable so you can understand.
Yeah, and you'll have practices in determining what your attachment styles are, and also in talking about them and showing each other what they are.
Yeah, if this is a new concept to you, just know that we will hold your hand through the whole thing, and it is very, very enlightening. Okay, so number 7. We've alluded to this a few times now, but we keep each other close in public. So when we go to a big party and we know that we know a lot of people there, it's fine. We don't need to be attached at the hip. And we also stay connected energetically while we're there. So we are connected when we're together in public.
Yeah. And so you know if your partner needs help. Even you could be across the room, but you could see if she's been corralled in a conversation that's not really the conversation she wants to be engaged in. If you're attuned to her and to her needs, and you know what the telltale signs are that others probably won't pick up on, but you will, you can go over and rescue her.
And we'll go over like secret codes and that kind of stuff too, which is kind of spy level KGB
Yeah,
stuff.
that's fun.
Okay, number 8. This one's big. So most of us like to win. It's like inherent in our biology that we like to come out on top. And what we're asking you to do here is really to prevail on the better angels of your nature And remember that when you're in a partnership, a divine union, that when you fight, you're actually fighting to repair something, not to win individually.
Yeah. And as we mentioned earlier, it's inevitable that disagreements and conflict will arise. The question is, how do we deal with it productively? And learning how to fight, and I don't even like the term fight, but I guess it fits. But learning how to fight and how to do it productively is really important.
Roman's a litigator.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. But yeah, but that's part of the skill is how not to have unnecessary fights. But if they arise, how do you resolve them for the betterment of the relationship, not so that you get one up? Because when you wake up the next morning and you're still in conflict, but you feel like you won the argument, that's a pretty hollow victory. So we reorient and give you skills how to approach those disagreements in a way that will foster repair, not foster the embedding of that argument and the festering of the argument.
Yeah, and there's so much good stuff here that we do on the Alchemical Union container, the 6-week container with specific homework, all kinds of resources. This is a skill, and it's one that you can actually get quite good at. Yeah. There's so many tools out there.
And we should have mentioned at the outset, all of what we're talking about, the reason they're called practices is we don't get them right. First time, we don't get them right, even perhaps the 10th time. And it's also not linear. You can do really, really well for a while, and then you'll slip back into old habits. And that's why these skills are there to remind you, keep going back to, okay, I know the trap that we just fell into. That's okay. We're going to do better next time. So that's not an expectation. No one should have an expectation that you're going to be perfect at this and that you're going to you're never going to have a bad argument. You're never going to fail in any way. No, these are practices. Yeah. But and what we're transmitting, what we're teaching, will help you constantly be reminding yourself of how to do all this.
Yeah, it's the scaffolding, and over time, it is a practice. It's not a perfect. So you just keep working at it, and you end up building a very, very strong partnership. That's pretty impervious. So this is one of my favorite ones, and it also seems like a duh, but I'm sure you guys can relate. This 9th principle is that you can rekindle the loving feelings in your partnership through eye contact. Through eye contact. And it's so simple, but so effective. And I remember when I was a young mother, that's all I wanted to do was just look into my baby's eyes. That's how mothers get feedback, feel love. It's just through eye contact. And it's the same with your lover and your partner. So, we're all so busy. We're rushing out the door in the morning. We do our coffee ritual, and it's like, okay, coffee ritual done. No, like, take the time to really look each other in the eyes deeply and have a really beautiful, heartfelt kiss, not just a smooch. Yeah. And this is the way that you keep love alive. You keep the oxytocin pumping.
Yeah, and we take you through a variety of exercises with eye contact, and it's remarkable how little time that does take. Because if you've ever eye gazed with somebody, even after 10, 15 seconds, it unless you do it all the time, it gets a little weird, and it can be uncomfortable at first. But what also happens over time is you realize how much connection, how much intimacy comes through that eye contact, and how beneficial it is. So yeah, there's a number of exercises that we go through on that really reveals the power of that eye contact.
Yeah. So we get to play with that one. That one's a really good one. Okay. So number 10, this is just important to know, because the quality of your partnership impacts your health dramatically. People in unhappy marriages have all kinds of health problems. And that's not to say that you won't have health problems just because your marriage is great. But number 10 is we are good for each other's health. It's an overall bonus. We are good for each other's health. Because we reduce each other's stress, because we're helping to pump that oxytocin through the system for both of us, and because we're protecting them from anything that's going to stress them out. And we're basically able to optimize each other's health.
Yeah, there's so much science that actually scientifically is proven of how deleterious things like stress are, which really impact not just our mental health, but our physical health as well. So by really having a close, intimate, trusting, non-judgmental relationship, it improves the health because it takes away the stress and the buildup of the negative hormones.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the 10 principles. That's the scaffolding. And then within those 10 principles are all kinds of fun practices that we cannot wait to share with you. Literally, like we've been busting at the seams ever since we started putting all of this into practice to share it with everyone. So we know it's going to change your life. I highly recommend that you listen to the happy clients that we've been able to work with, because they will tell you that their lives have definitely been improved once they put these practices or put the practices
To good use.
I think we're gonna have to edit that.
Yeah. But yeah, we really love doing this work in, and it's again, work is also a term that I'm not totally comfortable with because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
But work can be fun. But we really enjoy doing it in these beautiful places where it just lands differently. And it really encourages you to integrate it with your partner and come home with a renewed appreciation for your relationship, a new sense of your partner, a new understanding, a new trust, a new intimacy. And it's just a portal into a new phase of your relationship. So
yeah, and we found there to be a real just dearth of this kind of thing available, and we see so many people who would benefit from a week with their partner really tuning in, not just going out and exploring, and having an adventure, but really having this time to tune into their circle, their protected bubble, and make it stronger.
Yeah. So all the information you have, but we're here if you have any other questions about either logistics or anything about the program.
Now, what do they get if they do it within?
Yeah, so
yeah, this is big.
Yeah, so if you book within 48 hours of receiving the email, you'll get $500 off per person of the Costa Rica Mythic Union retreat. Spaces are very limited because the villa only holds about 6 or 7 couples.
One thing I just want to say, we work in small groups. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, more people, more is better. That is great for them. And that is not how we operate. We like to be able to have a small ship so that we can maneuver and make sure that your individual desires are being met every single day. And your desire one day is going to be completely different than the next. And we can be that agile. Also, you're not going to be overwhelmed feeling like you have to talk to every single person in a group of 100 people. You're going to have, 7 couples on this? Yeah. 7 couples. So there's so much spaciousness in the day. You can hang out with who you want to hang out with. You can create your day exactly the way that you want to.
Yeah, that's a really important point. This is not like what you may heard about group travel. We're not going to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. You are free to do things on your own during your free time. You're also welcome to do things with the other people there if you resonate with them, or perhaps if you already come with friends. But we're there to help you make this experience uniquely yours. For some people, it is being very social and doing a lot of things with other people. For others, it's no, we're here to really embed and deepen in our relationship, and we want to go do things on our own. And both of those are welcome.
I want to just reiterate why we built this. We built this because this is what we desire. Like, we have learned from some of just the leading thought leaders in the world at this time. And we have found that we don't need to be going 24/7 from 7:30 in the morning to 10:30 at night, getting practices and downloads and transmissions. And we know that you are going to receive every single thing that you need for your relationship. You will be met where you are. You don't need to know anything ahead of time. We do highly recommend that you come to the 6-week Alchemical Union because it's just so juicy. So yeah, come join us, Costa Rica.
All right. Thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for joining us for this. And we really hope you come join us for the online container and also for Costa Rica adventure. It'll be magical.
Yeah, get the $500 off, $1,000 off.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Pura vida.